You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hi, Days of Our Lives fans. I have got a sizzling rumor about the upcoming shooting of EJ DiMera, and it indicates that his niece, Rachel Black, is the one to put a bullet in him. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to talk about why EJ gets shot, why his niece would pull the trigger, and what comes after. But if you're not subscribed, please click that follow button. So the motive seems pretty clear for EJ's shooting, at least from what we've seen so far, aside from this rumor that I'm going to tell you about. Because him kidnapping Rafe Hernandez and letting Arnold Feniger take his place, that's a huge motive for trying to kill EJ. And there are a lot of people affected by these actions he's taking. Of course, there's Rafe himself, who's been tied up, humiliated, taunted, made to miss his wedding day. Plus, Arnold has been living his life and screwed up his relationship, screwed up his wedding day, screwed up his birthday. And, there's Jada Hunter, whose life has been torn apart, her heart broken, her professional reputation in tatters. Both Rafe and Jada have plenty of reason to put a bullet in EJ DiMera, but neither of them is homicidal like that. I am sure that Rafe and Jada would much rather see EJ behind bars serving a nice long stretch in Statesville prison with Arnold as his prison pal. But instead, EJ is going to be shot, and I'm going to get to how Rachel's involved. But there are also other people that are absolutely going to be triggered by Arnold's return once the news spreads, not because of what he's doing right now, but because of what he and EJ did before with Stefano. The last time Arnold was around, if you don't recall, or weren't watching them, after Rafe had a car crash and was head injured, EJ and his dad, Stefano DiMera, stashed Rafe away in captivity and then put Arnold in his place. Stefano had convinced minor criminal Arnold Feniger to have plastic surgery to be Rafe's doppelganger. But back then, Arnold was actually in bed with Sami, who was Rafe's wife at the time. The plot was to unravel Sami and Rafe's marriage. And because he had just had a head injury, Sami wrote off Arnold's strange behavior as Rafe as a product of the car crash. So she didn't realize her husband had been swapped out, because who would think a doppelganger had taken their husband's place and was in their bed? So Arnold wound up going off the rails. He killed Nicole Walker's mother, and that was enough to alarm Stefano and EJ into ending the scheme. They paid off Arnold to get out of Salem ASAP. He was trying to get out of town, but then Rafe escaped from the convent where he had been stashed, and Arnold wound up captured, and then he was killed in jail. So he died back in the day, but they did a retcon, a retroactive thing to undo that history, and revealed recently that EJ and Stefano faked his death and sent him to South America with a pile of money. So I say all that to explain who else may want to shoot EJ. Allison Sweeney was back filming as Sami Brady in August 2024, which means her air date should be somewhere around March to April. They were filming like 6 to 7 months ahead back then. And bear in mind, there's a Rachel Black character twist around the same time. So as for Sami, it seems likely that she is back for the reveal that Arnold is back from the dead and pulling shady stunts with her ex-husband EJ again. Not only could Hurricane Sami pull the trigger, but her dad Roman Brady is seen calling EJ a rapist in the Day of Days promo. And I can only imagine Roman would happily drill EJ with some lead. And in another scene in the mega promo, Johnny DiMera is ranting at his father, and he might lose it enough to shoot his dad, especially since Johnny's sister was the victim of a rapist. Watch this little scene.
The only reason I exist is because my father raped my mother.
What are you doing?
So he's got, just zero tolerance for shenanigans where assault against a woman is concerned, Now, about Johnny himself, he's also part of the rumor that I'm going to share with you about the shooting that also involves Rachel Black. So given the timing of Sami's return, I'm going to guess she's coming back around April. So it may likely coincide with the debut of the new actress who's playing Rachel Black. We are going to see Alice Halsey take on the role of Rachel starting April 24th, 2025. And coincidentally, that is the first day of May sweeps. Those run from April 24th through May 21st. So that is the period, the window of time when I expect EJ to be shot. In that same window when Sami is in town, the whole thing comes out and we have the new Rachel. So here's what the rumor says. As shown in the Day of Days promo, Johnny is ranting to his grandpa Roman that the guy is a rapist. I'm sure he's referring to Arnold, whose presence is known by them. And then Roman tells Johnny his father, EJ, is also a rapist. And by then, Sami is in Salem. She confirms the truth to Johnny at last, his horrible origin story. So he's going to find out that EJ blackmailed Sami into bed when she was with Lucas. She slept with EJ to save Lucas's life. That's when she got pregnant. One egg impregnated by EJ, the other by Lucas, resulting in fraternal twins Johnny and Allie. And bear in mind, Johnny lives in the same house as Kristen, EJ, Rachel, Chanel, and others. So Johnny confronts and rages at EJ, as we saw in the Day's promo. So my leaker tells me that Johnny is so enraged that he gets a gun out of the safe, makes sure it's loaded, and he takes aim at his father, EJ. But then he stops. Johnny can't do it. He just can't shoot his own dad. He's not nearly as murderous as the rest of the DiMeras. So the scene in the Day's promo with EJ looking at the person that he clearly knows and saying, "What are you doing?" might be him talking to Johnny when Johnny has the gun. You know the way they cut promos together, because it looks like EJ, he's sitting and it looks like he's looking slightly up towards somebody, and Rachel is pretty short. Even with EJ sitting down, I think he'd be looking at or down at her, not kind of up. So I feel like that scene from the promo is Johnny threatening with the gun, but he leaves disgusted. I mean, let's face it, you know, unlike his dad EJ and his mom Sami, Johnny just doesn't have a killer instinct. So the rumor says Johnny leaves the gun lying there and walks out. Then little Rachel wanders into the room looking for her mom Kristen, finds the gun, picks it up, and accidentally shoots EJ. In the promo, we see that Chad's the one who finds EJ shot, and more info from the leak says that apparently Rachel blacks out. She doesn't remember doing it because of trauma. And the rumor also says that when the truth comes out about Rachel shooting EJ, that Kristen may take the fall for her daughter and go to prison for her. So we will see how it manifests and if the leak I've been given was accurate. This person has a fairly decent track record with leaks. And also given how Rachel has been spiraling out of control and getting chaotic like her mom and her crazy grandma, I could totally see her picking up a gun and waving it around and accidentally shooting Uncle EJ. I don't think she'd shoot him on purpose, but I could see her being curious about the gun. You know, Rachel walked in on Brady holding a gun to Kristen's head. That was like July 2023. He was enraged because Kristen was trying to keep him away from Rachel, and he threatened her life, and then their daughter walked in on Brady threatening her, and Rachel raged at him to stop talking to her mom like that. So let's face it, Rachel has been exposed to a lot in her few years. So we'll wait and see if this rumor manifests. And to be clear, it is a rumor I was given by a leaker that drops me tidbits now and then. This is not a confirmed spoiler, but it's certainly interesting, and I could see it playing out this way, but it'll be a couple of months before we know for sure. And it would be a big splash for the new Rachel Black actress if she takes on the role just in time to put a bullet in her diabolical uncle.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.